Hey, you. It's your boy Legendary D, and this is today's episode of Indubitably. Thank you for joining me today. We'll do something a little bit different today. So, you've heard me talk about my little struggles that I went through. Well, that's not called a little. My struggle I went through with mental health recently, and the time I spent, short time that I spent in a mental facility. And I'm gonna read to you guys today a letter that I had wrote down of my thoughts a couple of days before I had checked myself into the mental facility, just to show you guys like a little bit of where my head was at, and then I'll just go on from there. All right. So I had entitled this note that I wrote to myself, Real Spit. I'm gonna start it off as this. Over the past couple of years, I've been through a physical and emotional roller coaster, one in which I lost my will to live. I started to devalue myself due to physically and financially losing everything. The feeling of uselessness as a man, unable to take care of his basic responsibilities, unable to care for himself and those who depend on him. And on the flip side, I'm a naturally optimistic person. I'm a resilient person, someone who finds strength in moments when I'm at my weakest. But struggling to keep that resolve, it became too hard to be mentally strong when physically depleted. And the feeling of helplessness and loneliness was and is unbearably difficult to overcome. Having poured all of my adult life into being the best dad and man I knew how to be for my loved ones, and not feeling appreciated or valued by those same loved ones, is a dark road to be on, and honestly, I haven't found my way off of that road. In fact, I find myself dropping further into the abyss of loneliness and dejection. I'm on this path where my self-esteem is gone. I talk as if I'm this hyper-confident man when I'm really a shell of the man I once was or saw myself as. I mean, I can't be all I thought I was if it's not recognized by those who I was being that man for. Or is it that I'm just taken for granted? I believe it's a combination of both. I know I'm far from perfect, but I tried my hardest to lay down a solid foundation. And to have it seem, and it seems, to have been based on nothing at all. I feel used and taken advantage of. I feel like a jester. How could I be so naive to think that people would actually notice and appreciate my efforts? As it stands, I'm just the guy who did what he was supposed to do. So there's no champion in that. Even though there's so many who don't even meet those standards. My parents sure didn't, and neither did the biological fathers of some of my children. Yet, I'm still cast aside. I really don't know. How do I escape this dark place? How do I find my way to making myself happy and feeling fulfilled? I just want to start life over from scratch. But is that really possible 46 years into this shit? Where do I begin? How do I know, how will these choices affect my two youngest daughters? I saw what not having a present father did to my sisters, and I don't want that for them. Yet, I'm suffering in this existence, and how can I be what they need in a father when I've lost myself? I told my father when he apologized for not being around, that he was the best father he could have been to me by not being around, because he was struggling with his own demons and would have fucked me up in the process by just being there. Could the same be true for me and mine? Did I fuck my kids up? Will I destroy my daughter's lives? Why do I give my father that slack but not my mom? I say all the time it's because he owned up to his faults while she hasn't. Is it that simple? Did she do the best she could and it just being hard on her? Am I just being hard on her? Or am I justified in the hurt and disappointment I felt my entire life? At this point, I just need a win. Just tired of losing. What have I done to make everyone turn against me? It's like I've been left behind. Everyone is going on happily with their lives and just said, fuck him, he'll be all right. And that makes me feel abandoned. So, again, this was a letter I had written of my thoughts or how I was feeling. It was maybe a day or two before I checked myself into the mental hospital, right? So, as you can see, it's just me feeling a lot of different ways about a lot of different things, but mostly about what my purpose is and was on this earth. Being that I spent the entirety of my adult life being 46 years old and having my first child at 22, you know, spending my entire existence being dad. You know what I mean? Being the parent that I thought I needed to be and the baby daddy or whatever that I thought I needed to be, you know, because to me, the most important women in my life are my kids' mothers, because they're the most important people to my kids in this world, you know what I mean? So I always want to make sure they good. And I feel like I did a pretty good job. You know, of course, I'm not perfect. No one is. I mean, I've done things that I shouldn't have done. I've made decisions that I shouldn't have made, you know, but we all have in life. But for the most part, I felt like I did and made mostly the right decisions when it came down to the betterment of everyone, not just myself or not just any specific entities in the circle. You know, I felt like I did what was best to have my kids grow up in the best way possible and to feel loved and have this camaraderie between them and their mothers and all that stuff, you know. So in doing that, you know, I felt like I did my part, right? But then it got to a point where I wasn't able to do certain things with me being sick and out of work and things, and it started feeling like it was like, all right, he can't do anything for us anymore, so what's his purpose? Why is he here? If I don't need anything from him, then he serves no purpose in this world to us, you know, because the only time my phone rang was when they needed something, or when they wanted something. What can Dad do for me? What can Daryl do for me? If Daryl can't do anything for me, then there's nothing for us to talk about. You know, and I felt like I deserved a lot more than that from the efforts that I put out and things like that. And being that, you know, my kids' mothers, some of them have kids with other men. Their relationships are what their relationships are. I'm not going to get into all of that. But I've always felt like I've done more than a lot of others have done. And that I deserve more because I've done more. You know, even if it's just a hey, thank you, or, you know, whatever it is, I always felt like I deserved more, or just some kind of recognition to say, you know what, I see I see what you're doing and I appreciate what you're doing. And a lot of times I started feeling like that was being taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, he's doing it because he's supposed to. And that's that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it is. I am supposed to. It is what I'm supposed to do. Hopefully y'all can't hear that because my HVAC keeps going in and out to keep the room in a certain temperature. But yeah, so yeah, that's what it all boiled down to. It's me feeling underappreciated and devalued and wondering like what was my purpose at this point? Like, what was my purpose? Am I doing more harm than good when it came to being here? You know what I'm saying? Like, not that I wanted to kill myself, but I just felt indifferent about dying. You know, and I can't say that I wouldn't have done anything to myself or that I would, because there's no telling what on any day what my mindset was, and that's why I turned myself into the mental hospital to try to get a better understanding of my feelings and just to keep myself from doing something that I shouldn't have done. And talking to one of my kids' mothers one time about it, she was like, I mean, because she heard everything that I was saying. I'm not a person that's shy with expressing myself, as you can see. I tell people how I'm feeling, and I expect people to do something about it. If I'm telling you I have a problem with something, I expect you to do something about it. And vice versa. If you're telling me that you have an issue with something that I'm doing, or there's something that I'm doing that's making you feel some sort of way, I expect you to hold me accountable and say, Daryl, you need to do something about this. You know what I mean? This is how you're making me feel, and I need you to make me feel differently. You know, so she had said to me that she felt like because of my daughters and my younger children and my grandchildren, that I wouldn't do anything to myself because she knows how much I love them. And I told her like that's not a safe way of thinking, you know? When someone gets to that breaking point where they're feeling suicidal or indifferent about death, you know, other people aren't their focus at that point. And a lot of times, even if other people are their focus, they're feeling as if, like they would be doing these people a favor by not being around, because they're not contributing anything good to their lives anymore. Whereas one day I might have been this hell of a dad to her. At this point, I'm not being a hell of a dad. So, am I doing what's right for my child by just sticking around and being unproductive, or should I just get out of here? And make life easier for her, because at the end of the day, she has a system around her. She has her mother, she has her family, she has stepmothers, if you want to call them that. Her siblings are the mothers and things like that. And I'm generally speaking when it comes to my daughters, but they have support systems that are going to be there regardless of if I'm there or not. So to sit there and think, all right, well, he's not going to do anything to himself because his daughters need him. That's not how one feels at that point. I don't feel as if my daughters need me. I didn't feel as if my daughters needed me. Even though, like, one of the most honest things that I've always said is that I want to be there to walk them down the aisle. In that note, I said that I saw how my father's absence affected my sisters. It didn't affect me the same way, but it did affect my sisters. And that's not to say that I don't care how things affect my sons as well. But my sons are older than my daughters, and my sons take after me a lot too. They feel a lot, but they hold a lot in. They're strong kids. They're strong boys. And maybe I overestimate their strength when it comes to it as well, but as a man, you don't, sad to say, you don't really worry about your sons the way you worry about your daughters, because you look at your sons and you see a certain strength in them that you're like, all right, that's my boy, he'll be able to handle such and such. And I see a lot of strength in my daughters as well, but at the same time, they're girls. They're young women, and it's things that I worry about, and that goes for my biological daughters and my non-biological daughters. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, to look at someone who's starting to feel as if they've lost everything and can't find a way back to just even being themselves. Listen to that person when they're talking. Hear them. Don't just listen to respond or to react. Hear what they're saying. Listen to their pain. Because a lot of times that cry for help is the last ditch effort. That cry for help is the last thing that they have going for them. And boy, they're just looking for somebody to not just tell them, yo, it's gonna be okay. Because a lot of people gonna tell you, yo, it's gonna be all right. Because they know you. They look at me and they say, yo, Daryl, you're a strong dude. You've been through hell and high water in your life, and you've come out on top. So what makes this situation any different? But everyone has a breaking point. Everyone has a breaking point. And at some point, I broke. You know what I'm saying? I broke. And just to be God honest, like, I didn't know how I was going to handle it. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I was looking for those who love me to show that they love me, and that they heard and saw how I was feeling and what I was going through. And I wasn't getting that from them. Because basically what I was getting was, yo, you good. You gonna be good. You always end up good. You know what I'm saying? Because you always make sure we good. You always make sure we good, so ain't no way you not gonna be good. You gonna be alright. And you don't want to hear you gonna be alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not gonna be alright. I need you to show up for me the way I've shown up for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got those sayings that you have people saying, don't expect you from other people. But that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because at the same token, you tell people, treat people the way you want to be treated. So which one is it? You know what I mean? I can't be a good person to you, or put out 100% effort to you, and I can't even expect to get 30 or 40% back from you. Like, and I'm supposed to just accept that because of what? No, I'm not. I mean, not that you got to give me that same 100. No, but you got to show up in some sort of way, right? You got to show up in some sort of way. I mean, that's what people who love each other do. That's what people who love each other do. You put out the effort to show that person is not just another person, right? You're not just someone I met a few days ago, or a friend of mine that we casually encounter and such and such. There's a lot that carries in that word love. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to me, I'm speaking for myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect a lot from many people, except for my loved ones. Those are the people I expect a lot from. Like, I don't care about the opinions of strangers. I don't care about the opinions of some people that I know. I care about the opinions of my loved ones. I care about the efforts of my loved ones. You know what I'm saying? I hold them to a different standard. And I don't see what's wrong with them at all. Like, people tell you, you gotta accept people for who they are. Okay, you do. You do, but that don't mean you have to keep them in your life either. You You know what I'm saying? Like, I can accept you for who you are and still get rid of you because you're not good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, yeah, you gotta take people for what they are. Take people for who they are. But then you also have to place them in the right place in your life. I can love you and love you from 100 miles away. You know what I'm saying? I can love you and I can love you from 10 feet away. But I can love you from 10 feet away and not say a goddamn word to you. Ever. I love you, but you got to be over there. But you could be 100 miles away from me and I can talk to you every day. And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's people that I love that I don't talk to every day. That love me that I don't talk to every day. But come hell or high water, they gonna show up. And they know that being the man that I am, I'm gonna show up for them. And that's that. Years could go by. That phone ring or that text message come through or whatever and say, Daryl, I got you. Got you. Because that's the type of person I am. I got classmates from junior high school. I got a classmate from junior high school that hit me up. I have not seen him since junior high school. 30-something years. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm in a bind right now, fam. And at the time, I was good. I mean, money in my pocket. All day, every day. Money that I ain't having nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's just in my pocket. I'm losing count of the money that I got at that point in time in my life. You know what I'm saying? Dude hit me up out of nowhere. Yo, my wife going through some shit. I'm going through some shit. I need help. All right, bro, I got you. It's just that simple. I ain't asked for nothing back. Didn't want nothing back. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple, yo. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same attitude I feel that I want people to have towards me. If you fuck with me, fuck with me. If you don't fuck with me, don't fuck with me. Either way, we both gonna be good. We both gonna be good. But let's be honest about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if you don't fuck with me, then don't fuck with me. Say so. But don't tell me you love me. Don't tell me you love me. But then you don't fuck with me. Don't tell me you love me, but you can't show up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not me, yo. That's not me. If I tell you if I've ever told you that I love you and cared about you in any type of way, there's not one of you that's listening to this or that know me, that may not even be listening, that can say that I'm not going to show up for you, no matter the situation. No matter the situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm that dude that if I got $15 in my pocket and I need 40, you got 10 in your pocket, but you need 25, my 15 is yours. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to make sure you got that 25 you need. At least one of us got what we needed. You taken care of at this point. I still need 40. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm 15 less away from that 40 that I needed. But I'm going to trust in the fact that that 40 coming to me. It's coming to me. I'm not worried about it. My worry was, yo, that person needed me. I got them. Anything else is going to take care of itself from there. And I expect the same back from certain people. It's like, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Like, we all go through our traumas. We all go through our hurts. And there you saw, too, that I started reflecting back on stuff with my parents. We haven't always had the greatest relationships. Me and my mother go through a hell of a lot. I love my mother, though, regardless of what. You know what I'm saying? If she need me, I'm going to show up. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show up. Do I have issues with her? I do. Has it caused a lot of strife between she and I, and then even with me and other people? Yes, it has. You know what I'm saying? But that's just something I gotta live with, and that I handle in the best way that I can. You know what I'm saying? One day it'll come to whatever it comes to, or it won't. But at the end of the day, it's just part of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Not her, not me, not none of us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's times when I feel like, yo, Daryl, give us some grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, but then there's other times when I'm just like, you know what, nah, not today, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it happens. Some people do the best that they can. Some people feel like they've done the best that they can even when they haven't. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah. And that's what my mindset was. Excuse me. Heading into the facility. Now, coming out of the facility, I felt a little different about things. Not too much. Like, my feelings towards things were still the same. The only thing I can say is that I was dealing with it differently. You know, like, my acceptance of some of it, or how to deal with it, changed. Even my understanding of my feelings changed a little bit. You know, because talking to some of the therapists and the doctors, they were saying to me like, yo, what you're going through in a sense is mourning. You know, like, it's like the death of your relationships. The death, even though people aren't gone, the relationship you had with them is different, and it's changed to the point where that relationship has died. So it's a form of mourning, you know, and that kind of hit me in a place where I was like, wow. I never thought of that. Would have never thought of it that way, but it makes sense. It makes sense because it hurts that much. It hurts that much. It hurts like someone who's gone. That relationship has died in a sense. And how did you deal with the death of that relationship? You know, I don't know. I just hope my vulnerability when I talk about these things, you know, hits home for some people, whether it be my family or other people and their families, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gotta sit down and really listen to people sometimes, man, especially as men out here, because people don't like to hear us. They'll listen to us, but they don't like to hear us. You know what I'm saying? They calling us being in our sassy moments and shit like that now because we found our emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And we know how to express what we're going through and things like that. Don't make us no less of a man than anyone else. Because anybody that knows me know ain't nothing soft over here at all. You know what I'm saying? Never has been, never will be. But, yo, we are human. We are human. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to be understood. Take your time and listen. And listen from a standpoint of, yo, this is somebody that I care about. And the only way for me to show this person that I care about them is to understand what they're going through. I really have to hear and put myself in his shoes. I have to put myself in her shoes. And until I can do that, you gotta be able to be empathetic. You have to be able to be empathetic and understanding. I'm not sure how much more I gotta say about that, but I'm pretty sure there'll be another day and another conversation. I got some other things written down. There's some journals that I've been doing lately. And then I got a lot of questions that you guys gave me and topics that you guys gave me that we're gonna get to discussing as well. So, yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna say for today. Thank you for listening. And as always, I said what I said. I'm signing out. This is Legendary D. Till next time.